As the tide rolls in, we soak in the sound, with the waves as our band and the shoreline profound. Skateboards roaring, laughter fills the air, and the heart of the night freedom's everywhere. In 1983, we're young and we're free, with the music of the ocean calling out to me. Every sunset's a promise, every dawn's a song, in Crescent City, where we all belong.
I've got this old Gen 2 4Runner that I would like to get back on the road, bring it back as a daily driver. I've also got a 1990 Toyota pickup with the same 3VZE engine, basically the same vehicle, you know, body on frame Toyota. This 4Runner, it's got rusted out rear quarter panels, so I'm going to cut that out, weld in new metal, probably make my own panels. Needs new exhaust, just a lot of rust removal, new shocks, brake line work, power steering pump work, quite a few things. But I'd like to bring it back as a daily driver for a while. I've got an F-150 that I drive that I'm going to be doing cam phaser work on, so I need something to drive around town while I'm doing that. You can see I already got panels welded in the rear right corner. I made these panels on a metal brake. To make a fender flare, I'm using a bead roller to tip in the fender flange. You'll see how the bead roller warps the sheet metal enough that the panel won't fit. Here you can see that the warped panel doesn't quite fit. To fix the warped panel, I'll need to use a metal stretcher on the flange. But first I need to bolt the flange tool to the table. But watch how the metal stretcher will fix this. It's basically a must-have tool for doing stuff like this. I mean, you could do it with a body hammer, but I don't know, it just seems like that'd be kind of hard. Wow, it's a lot straighter. Well, and there we go, it fits. Or at least good enough to weld it in. You'll see that I paint the back of the panels, and then in the inside panel, sometimes I place phosphoric acid wherever I see rust, and then I paint as much as I can. Well, I'm not very good at welding in body panels, and most of the time I'm just doing a lap joint. And I think I'm laying down too much metal. I probably have the wire speed up too high, so then I'll end up having to do a lot more grinding. I am using a smaller .023 wire, but with the wire speed too high, I'm not sure if it's helping me much. Well, I feel like I need to add a little DD Speed Shop commentary here, or at least do some explaining on this paint. I basically don't have the right paint, or I don't think I do. Here I'm starting off with a high build primer, and then later I switched to a sealer primer that's a much lighter color. You won't really see it here, but there's several coats of primer, and then later many coats of paint. I have a Land Cruiser that's the same color as this 4Runner, so I do hope to get the correct paint at some point, and then maybe I'll come back to this 4Runner and I'll fix some of the sanding and then repaint it, maybe some clear coat. I'll explain more about the paint a little later. This paper really shouldn't have been here when I started painting. Now I've got lines on my paint to deal with or to sand out.
With the wind in our hair, we chase the evening light. Every laugh and every tear makes the journey feel so right. With the radio playing songs of love and sweet romance, we'll keep driving forward, lost in this dance. Riding down these dusty roads, chasing dreams that call my name. Underneath the sky so wide, we're dancing in the flame. Every turn a story told, with echoes of the past. You right here beside me, I know this love will last. Find our way together, no matter where we roam at home. Through the long and winding night, it's our song. Together we belong and we'll all.
Again, look at how the bead roller can really warp your panel. But as you'll see, the the stretcher, it does an amazing job at getting this straightened back out. Wow, look at that. If anything, might have gone a little too far. It's pretty good.
see the silhouettes dance. Tumbleweeds roll in a trance of a trance. Mournful cries of the old desert tune. Underneath the ominous blood-red moon. In the storm's embrace we find our fate. Rising spirits call, though it's late. The land sings tales of echoes worn in the heart of the southwest dust storm. Ravens soar against its twilight's cloak. Cactus arms rise through the weighty smoke. Dust devil spiral secrets untold. While the earth whispers, your story unfolds. Shadows stretch on sun-baked sand while the wind calls paths across this land. Footprints swallowed by the desert's breath in this merciless dance with life and death. The coyotes howl to stars that burn, guiding lost souls never to return. In the silence, thunder cracks the sky, and the lamb weeps as the spirits sigh. The trail's been paved by shadows and echoes. Every grain story unfolds and flows, where the spirit lingers in the wavering light, heart of the southwest where day meets night.
Of these two paints, I don't know which one's going to be the better color match, so I'm going to try them both. This one says Sand Dollar Ultra Matte. Then this one here is Ivory. I don't know. So, if I understand right, this duplicolor is supposed to be a copy of the Toyota 4Runner or Land Cruiser White, which I think is a Toyota 045 color number that you find like on the door. But this appears to be far too white, not creamy enough. I wonder if it's actually a different Toyota white, not actually 045. So I got these two. They appear to be a closer match. I'm going to try them. Clear. I'm not yet replacing the rocker panels or the lower dogleg behind the passenger doors. I'm sure it's hard to see it on the camera, but this duplicolor white is just too bright, too white. So I'm going to try sanding it down a little bit and then putting on some of this Rust-Oleum Sand Dollar. I'll probably have to put a clear coat on it after that. Kind of get rid of this edge. This I do color pink. It's got some gloss to it. Sand Dollar matte, so I'll just cut up a bit. I don't know, I think that looks better. The passenger side was completely rotted out. There was no lower outside panel or inside panel, so I welded in new panel, inner and outer. Some of that down there is new metal. A lot of it's been lap welded. And then the wheel arch, I'm going to put some sort of a seam sealer on the lap joints. And then over here on the driver's side, there was rust down there. Nothing was rusted through. There was a lot of mouse nest. So I think this is all caused by mouse nest. I put phosphoric acid on the rust, so that's why it's been turned black. And then you can see the new metal on the wheel arch, fender flare. Again, I'll put some seam sealer over that. I covered this hitch in phosphoric acid. It was all rusty. I wire wheeled it. See how long that lasts. I might paint over it, maybe not. Here I've got some rear bumper support brackets. I wire wheeled them and then covered them in phosphoric acid. There's another one. You know, I don't get all the rust off, but the phosphoric acid needs the rust to be there to do its job. Here's some more. But I put the acid in a smaller bottle. Use this asphalt. It doesn't take much. I keep it off of my concrete. We'll start fizzing and etch it. Yeah, this is the inner panel, the back side. I'm going to cover it with some phosphoric acid. Some of this was old metal. Still got some rust on it. Of course, there's the new metal welded in here as well. Inner driver's side here too. welders that need to be cleaned up. Paint. Okay, here's the original bumper, the rusty one, of course, and then the new bumper. This is the top. Like everything else, they rust from the inside. So on the new bumper here, I'm going to try coating the inside with undercoat. I know you can get into a situation where the undercoat, if it starts to separate, it can hold moisture, but if it's not separating, it seems like it should help. I wonder, you know, in the back of the vehicle, that's probably where you have more rock and gravel, so undercoat might be better than paint. This back bumper is 30 years old, so, you know, 30 years easily enough. So I started undercoating the inside of this back bumper with this Bondo heavy duty rubberized undercoating. This is the stuff I like the best, but I ran out, so I'm going to try this cheap CRC brand undercoating. I think I've used it before. I've used many others before and I've never really liked them, but I have it, so this isn't something you see. Just I'm trying to help keep the rock chips from rusting it out. So again, here's the bumper end caps on the side. Here's an original one, 30 years old. And again, it looks like they rust from the inside out. Here's a new one. So I'm going to try undercoating the inside. I discovered that the mud flaps no longer have a place to bolt to, so I'm going to make brackets that I'll weld to the inside of the wheel well. Okay, here's what I don't like about these cheap welders. It's like the welder is good, but so many of the parts are so poor. Like, look at that. This is what they sent for a hose. It's just a really cheap hose clamp and really cheap hose. It's not flexible. Like, you compare to my Hobart, look at this. You know, it's a real hose. It's all brass, the fittings. So, a little bit of a leak. So we've got to shut the gas off. Weird. Actually works. Crack right here, and then cracks over there. The hinge is broken off of the fuel door. On these 4Runners, the fuel door is made out of plastic. My 1990 Toyota pickup has a metal door, and that one's not broken. I've seen a lot of Gen 2 4Runners with the wrong color fuel door. I'm guessing it broke, and then they found another door, but the wrong color. Here's the axle breather on the 4Runner. I see this all the time, you know, this part gets very neglected. It looks like this one probably was breathing, but it's getting very clogged, close to being stopped. And this cap, obviously, no longer good. I wonder if I can make a cap. What is this in here? Oh, there's a little spring. Looks like there's a little, like it's a spring-loaded. That's probably to keep the vent closed until there's enough pressure build up, and it would fight that spring and then let air out. Well, I'm going to clean it up. Maybe I can make a cap. We'll see. Okay, I found this little vacuum hose clamp. Let me put a little breather hole in it. water in. I think I'll just set that in there. I would think that hot pressurized air would still be able to get out of there. Sometimes you run this all the way up to the gas fill behind the door. So, maybe like that. Little bastard, it shouldn't move so far. Something like that.
Riding on the winds from the desert plain, you cover the sky, spread your rain in the whistle of ghosts. I hear your name, nothing left here but dust and pain. Came through the door, no knock could call you. Cloak the world in your room and crawl. Dust on you, rise so high, dancing shadows in the evening sky. Carried by the sun's farewell, you bring tales of the land under your spell. Across the highway and empty roads, you wander freely where the wild wind blows. Every gust you sing your tune in the shimmer of the heated noon. Towns fall quiet as you drift along, silent witness to where we belong. Dust on you, rise so high, dancing shadows in the evening sky. Carried by the sun's farewell, you bring tales of the land under your spell. Beneath your veil we lose our way, dust on, here to stay, rolling on with a haunting grace. In your wake you leave no trace. Dust on you, rise so high, dancing shadows in the evening sky. Carried by the sun's farewell, you bring tales of the land under your spell.
The gas fill lines in the wheel well are missing a metal cover. So I'm going to quick make a cover out of some old metal flashing.
Sweet kiss.
This is an old conifer roof rack. I think these are from the 1980s and 90s. And I believe this was meant for a Land Cruiser, like an FJ60, not a 4Runner. So I might put it on my old 1983 brown FJ60. So bodywork sure takes a long time, even if you're not trying to even do it that well. You know, just good enough for some old 4x4. You know, what I'm wondering about the paint is, I wonder if clear coat kind of yellows over time, and that's why I was having some trouble with the paint match. But you know, even the body filler work, you know, I just did just bare minimum sanding, just good enough to get by for now. If I do get a hold of the correct paint, again, I might, you know, sand it down again and repaint it, but probably after I do the same work to my Land Cruiser. So this took quite a while. I'm going to call this part 1, and then in a part 2 I'll do exhaust work, shocks, some axle work, brakes, power steering, things like that.
Every dawn's a song in Crescent City, where we all belong.